One more question before we go to commercial. Where did you start? Who were some of your mentors, since you're talking about having some friends to call, and other seduction instructors who you would recommend?
When I originally started this, it was way before this became popular on the internet. I won't tell you too far because it'll give away just what my age is. But actually, my original introduction to this field was the book that I think a lot of guys have heard of him, S.J. Shark, How to Be the Jerk That Women Love. I got that book out of the bookstores way back when it first came out, and a couple of other books that I think are since out of print that really are not even in the seduction-related field. I think they were called Love Tactics or something like that. That was my first inkling that there are psychological principles at work that transcend what you want. In other words, one of the principles I teach is that truth is reality. The reality is something you can't deny, and the more you do it, the more pain you cause yourself. It's just like Eastern philosophy. So reading these books, I was like, oh no, this can't be true, but I knew it was, and I just kept reading them. I highlighted them. They're dog-eared and tattered, but I kept reading those books, and I kept believing that there was another path. That's really kind of what kept me going.
We're going to go to commercial. You're listening to Frank Talks, Pleasures and Lifestyles.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by the Personalized Symbolic Peacocking Seminar. Guys, do you think that your father has a great sense of style? Are blue jeans and a clean t-shirt your idea of dressy? Then you need the Personalized Symbolic Peacocking Seminar. Does 1982 live in your closet? Do you own clothes that have more holes in them than a slice of Swiss cheese? Then you need the Personalized Symbolic Peacocking Seminar. Look at the contents of your closet. If you think that navy blue and dark green are your colorful clothes, then you need the Personalized Symbolic Peacocking Seminar. When you pick up your date for that night out on the town, does she cringe at your wardrobe? If you think that ladies might wonder if you're colorblind, or if your girlfriend has to remind you to wear a clean item of clothing, then you definitely need the Personalized Symbolic Peacocking Seminar. The Personalized Symbolic Peacocking Seminar and telephone consultations, only available at franktalks.com.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by Pimping Your Pad Seminars. Decorating your bachelor apartment. Your home and the way you live is an extension of your sexuality. Frank will show you, with pictures of his own home, what women look for that identifies you as a potential partner. Frank looks at everything from theme rooms to furniture placement and space management to pets to the organization of your bathroom to get women who want to spend the night. The Pimping Your Pad Seminars and telephone consultations, only available at franktalks.com.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by the book, I'm a Man, That's My Job, The Philosophy of a Seducer. Ladies, have you ever wondered where all the real men have gone? Do you turn to your women friends because you cannot find a true man in your life? Do you want the man in your life to step up and know what it means to be a man that can make you feel like the woman that you are? Are you tired of mothering the men you date? Give these boys the gift of manhood. The book, I'm a Man, That's My Job, teaches men to create their own seduction persona, personal inner game, and how to take the lead in a relationship. Buy this book now at franktalks.com.
You're listening to Frank Talks, Pleasures and Lifestyles. I'm Frank because I have to be. In studio today we have Mr. Carlos Xuma. Carlos Xuma is a dating and attraction advisor, as well as motivational and life counselor. You've probably heard of him through his appearances on ABC television, his appearance at the Cliff's List Convention seminar, as well as his interview with David DeAngelo, and now he's here on Frank Talks, Pleasures and Lifestyles. Welcome back, Carlos.
All right, great to be.
All right, I want to talk about the lifestyle of a seduction instructor. Some of the sacrifices you've had to make in order to live this lifestyle full-time. Some of the obstacles you've had to overcome. How does your family relate to you now that you're a seduction instructor? Things that the average person would probably not even guess to know.
Well, one of the things that you just touched on there, the family, that's an interesting thing, because every time I talk to my family and the people I'm close to in it, they do bring this up, and it's funny because your family knows how to push your buttons like nobody else. They highlight the fact that you're going to be tested more by your friends and family than anything else, than any women, when you set yourself out on this path. They're going to test your resiliency and your perseverance to what you're trying to accomplish. They'll even make fun of you. And I feel like that when I still talk to my family. They make jokes about it. You know, And I just roll with it. I roll with the punches, and it teaches me, again, to stay humble and stay in my attitude and my conviction and belief that what I'm doing is good for guys everywhere. So that's one of the things I've had to handle, and because a lot of my friends do know what I do, and they'll also bring it up. It's interesting how quickly they'll kind of joke about it at the start, but then as soon as they take me aside, as soon as they get me alone and away from everybody else, they're suddenly flogging me with questions about their own personal experiences and situations. So I know this is something that every guy out there wants to do better in their life, and that's what keeps me going on that path.
And when members of your own family or friends will ask you questions like, well, what makes you such an expert? Doesn't that put you off?
I love that question. That's what I tell every guy now. Is anything that somebody asks you that you have a knee-jerk reaction of, oh my God, or if they give you bad news, your first reaction should be, that's great. I'm so glad you asked that. And then that forces you to come up with a reason that it really is great and why you're glad about it. Whenever I get that question with everybody, I just look at them and say, you know what? An unbelievable you-know-what load of dating pain. That's what got me doing this. That's what made me an expert. And then I just tell them, you know what, would you like me to help you save some of that pain?
That's a good answer. I'm going to start using that. I want to talk a little bit about that pain that you come from. Any regrets? Do you ever look back and say, I really didn't need to go through all that in order to get to where I am now?
I wish I could say that I had regrets, but I just can't live my life that way. I can't live my life in the rearview mirror. And the unfortunate thing is that in order to get anywhere in life, you got to pay a price to get there. Nothing worth doing in life will be easy. That's just a guarantee right there. And if I were to sacrifice or try and go back and change any of the things that did happen to me, I wouldn't be the same person, and I wouldn't be at the same point in my life. So no, I can't say I have any regrets about any of it.
Let's talk about your iPod downloads. What's the setup? What can people expect when they go to your website and download it? Do they even go to your website? And what can they expect to listen to when they download something?
That's a good question. The two different programs I'm offering right now. One is a free program for any guy that just wants to get started on this path and get going, and that's the regular podcast every week. I pretty much put that out ritually every weekend for like the last well over a year and a half now, and they can get on that just as easy as downloading iTunes from the Apple Store and just looking me up. Look up Carlos Xuma or Dating Dynamics. The other part of that is my regular dating coaching program. It's advanced coaching, and I offer that monthly. It's a subscription fee, but it's consistently strong information on a variety of topics dealing with dating, different than what David DeAngelo puts out. He interviews dating gurus. What I do is I give you specific information on every facet of being an alpha man, from good conversation to dating to handling objections, handling tests, handling all of it.
Let's talk about future aspirations. Where do you see yourself in about 10 years?
In 10 years, I see myself with my own TV show, possibly my own radio show. You could help me with that. Pretty much men and women to get this thing together, because I think it's a mutual goal. It's a goal for both sexes. When I talk to women, they're overjoyed that guys are learning these skills, and as long as they're not learning them in manipulative ways, they're overjoyed to be helping out in any way they can. I also am working on expanding, creating boot camps, creating seminars to help guys get back on their true path, because I think that's what's really happened, is they've just gotten temporarily pulled off by misinformation and misdirection, the lack of good male role models in their family, and they just need to get back on the real path, get back on track.